Hi everyone, alongside Mike Trossel, I'm Dave Giancola. Thanks for joining us again for another U.S. Open Classic finish. In 1997, the U.S. Women's Open was played at Pumpkin Ridge outside Portland, Oregon, and it was played among great fanfare and record-setting attendance. Through 3 rounds, Alison Nicholas of England led Nancy Lopez by 3 strokes.
And Dave, both players were seeking their first U.S. Women's Open titles, but Lopez had finished second 3 times previously and was well on her way to a Hall of Fame career. We join the action now on the 13th tee as Nicholas tries to hold off a charge from Lopez.
24 straight holes without a bogey for Nicholas, just 3 in the championship.
Today they might be able to get through with an 8 or 9.
This ball pulled down the left side. See if it carries the fairway bunker. It does not.
I still believe that Nancy, if she can play 1 or 2 under from here on in, she's going to really have a good shot. I just can't believe that Alison Nicholas can keep this pace up without a little oil starting to leak or puddle somewhere.
Nancy has driven the ball very well this week, just 5 missed fairways.
Last year, we had an amazing statistic. Annika Sorenstam hit 51 out of 56 fairways, just 5 misses. Nancy's on the same pace. She's missed 5 the whole week.
Lopez, after the bogey at 9, has parred 3 in a row. Nicholas in the bunker, off the fairway at 13. Lopez trying to pick up a shot. She's 4 back in this 97 U.S. Women's Open final round. Now being played for the 52nd time here at Pumpkin Ridge. And down at 17, Stefania Croce, this for birdie, this to get to 6 under.
Good putt. Hang in there, though. It breaks right at the hole. It's very difficult to read that. You'd swear it's straight in, but it goes right.
She'll remain at 5 under and back at 13. That is the ball of Alison Nicholas. Roger had a chance to pick up the lie. Doesn't look too bad.
Has a good lie and is far enough back away from the front lip that should not be a problem. Has 136 yards to the hole. Has a good angle to play at this hole, cut in the front right portion of the green. I would look for a safe play left of the hole, right up into the middle of the green here, John.
I don't know if it's that, I can't tell, but it looked like there was a little bit of sand behind it, but maybe it's just the camera angle coming in low. But you're saying it's a very clean lie, huh?
Yeah, it's a good lie. It shouldn't be a problem.
Alison Nicholas's 2 LPGA wins. She's shown she's a good front runner. 95 Corning, she led by 2, shot 72, won that tournament by 3. And right here in Portland, also the same year, tied for the lead heading into the final round, shot 68 and won by 3, and has been solid today.
And you've noticed she's had to get it up and in on 9, 11, and 12 now. So the scorecard says everything's according to no problem, but if you really look at what's happening, she's closing in on maybe her first bogey. But like Roger said, it's a good clean lie. Play it back in your stance, trap it in there. Underneath the hole to the left is the fall line.
This is 7-iron, going a little bit right of the hole.
What a wonderful golf shot. And she's had 16 wins worldwide, so we can't forget that.
And up at 18, first round leader, Lisa Lott Neumann. Second shot at the par 5 18th.
Go, baby. Run out.
It's a scooter there, and that thing is just chucking along nicely. Look at this ball.
On in 2 for Neumann. She shot a 67 on Thursday before falling way back, and back to 13.
It's a pitching wedge from 109 yards.
Gotcha.
Big drive.
Yep.
Need to knock it tight right here, Nancy.
A little bit right of the hole.
She can kick left. Doesn't, though, but it's a good shot.
Well, plenty of keyholes still to negotiate for these contenders, and to take us down the challenging stretch here at Pumpkin Ridge, Johnny Miller.
14th hole at 393 yards. I think one of the great par 4s on the golf course. You see the 4 bunkers on the left and the tree. You have to slide it right by there or play a draw shot, otherwise you go through the fairway. and you have trouble down at the green. You can see the pond down at the green and the bunker right, and the green does go away into trouble. In the first round, Lieselot Neumann, she hits in the left rough, looks like a tough shot. She plays the coolest little draw shot around the pond right there, rolls up onto the green, and if you can imagine, she makes this putt right here for the 4th birdie of the day, shoots 67, and is the leader with the first round 67. 15th hole, 164 yards. It's a fine par 3, slightly uphill as you can see. 2 key bunkers that you have to negotiate. See right there to design a little entrance to the right. Today the whole location is back right. 16th hole, par 4, 405 yards, second hardest hole on the golf course, and you can see why. 5 bunkers you have to negotiate over the semi-blind tee shot. And you hit in this area here, 30 yards wide, long second shot. A lot of players have to hit fairway wood into the green or long iron, and today the whole location is back right. So this is going to be a very difficult par. So difficult even from the fairway yesterday. Nancy Lopez comes over it, hits it into the left bunker, and makes her only bogey on the backside. 17th hole, par 4, 401 yards. You can see the fairway starts about 28 yards wide and keeps necking down to 18 where you get to this pot bunker on the left. So you want to lay it back or hit a drive short of that and go to this long, narrow, skinny green, which is protected by bunkers on the left and the right, as you can see there. You can see if you miss the fairway, you might end up in one of these bunkers and see the off-angle lie you might get from there. So you got to hit the fairway, and it is a birdie hole. And the 18th hole, what can I say? Par 5, 494 yards, one of the great finishing holes in all of golf. Look at the bunkers on the right. They are definitely in play because you're worried about all the stuff that's left, which is nothing but trouble. If you miss the fairway, you have to lay it up right here and go in the green with a fairway wood or long iron. If you do hit the fairway, now you have to negotiate these 2 bunkers up onto the rise here. These 2 trees, only 30 yards wide. You want to hit it into this shaded area right there, and then got a good chance for a birdie. Yesterday, Julie Inkster, 2 fine shots, 50 feet from the hole, going for eagle. She tries to chip it with a 3-wood and just barely doesn't make it, rolls all the way back down to her feet, tries again, same thing happens. She ends up making double bogey 7 on this hole. These final 5 holes really will test the players. Not only do they have great design, but there's a lot of tough features, and you combine that with nerves and a United States Women's Open Championship on the line. Wow. A lot of things could happen. It's going to be fun.
Well, Allison Nicholas just off the mark for her birdie at 13. She needs a 68 today, and she's already 3 under on this par 71 course. A 68 today to set a new Open 4-round score set last year by Annika Sorenstam at 272. So that just puts an even bigger exclamation mark on her week here.
And my respect for Allison Nicholas just keeps going up and up and up. You know, most players would start where she's been the last 4 or 5 holes, could have posted 2 or 3 bogeys, and another fine par save out of the left fairway bunker. And Nancy's going to just say, hey, I guess it's not going to happen. I'm going to have to do it with birdies, not wait around.
Well, Johnny, you noticed in all those holes where Allison missed the green, she missed the ball in the proper place. Even off the tee, if it was miss off the fairway, it was a place where she could manage the ball from. So, good course management.
How about this putt?
This putt should be downhill, move a little bit from right to left. Not a hard putt.
Lopez cuts into the lead by 1. 3 behind Nicholas now as they head to 14. Very difficult hole where anything's possible.
Great par 4, Dave Marr.
It certainly is, John.
This is Lieselot Neumann for eagle. Long putt. Just resting near the mark of her playing competitor today, Chris Johnson, and back over to 16. Kari Webb with a long birdie attempt. Kay Cockrell with this group, and Kari playing pretty well, Kay.
She sure is, and in this hole in particular, hit a great drive down the left-hand side. Could not have had a better angle and just mishit her 7-iron a bit. failed to get it up over that ridge and now has a good 35-40 footer. She is watching the leaderboard very intently, trying to hang on to a third place.
You can see the ridge barely on your screen that runs right in here, and then there's another ridge going this way that falls this way, so it really doesn't do much at the hole. It's just right up the draw. Comes off there, now it'll flatten out. Start flattening out. See how it's flattening out? If she'd have hit that, it would run true right into the hole. She had the perfect line.
Webb without a bogey today. Let's go to the 14th tee, the leaders, Dave.
And Nancy Lopez after the birdie at 13. Her drive at 14. Roger?
It's a 3-wood. Started this ball at the center of the fairway. Very nice.
Should move a little left now. Yes, it's right down the right-hand side.
It's so important to hit this fairway with this tough left hole location. As Dave said, the first time it's been put over there, and makes that lake and the area behind the green really in play.
Well, what needs to happen now? Allison needs to keep her mind on what she needs to do, because she can't do a doggone thing about what Nancy might do. You just make par on every hole from here in, which sounds easy. Now, she's part of this hole 3 straight times. But, and then let's see if Nancy can come get that.
See if these pull shots continue. She's...
Well, you know, she missed a couple to the right, and I was kind of waiting for the pull to show up. You know how you do, John, under heat. It's a driver, I assume, Roger?
This is a driver.
Hold it on the last hole.
This tee shot drawing down the left side of the fairway. That's ideal.
Just missed that bunker.
Just looked like she carried you about 5 more feet. That's terrific. That's what happens to you when you win, though. You got to get the brakes going your way. But a huge drive there. Let's go to 16.
And Kari Webb trying to keep her card intact without a bogey. That for par. Nicely done. Webb remains at 6 under. 3 under on a round today. And before Annika Sorenstam ever won the Open, it was Liselott Neumann, also from Sweden, who became the first Swede to win it back in '88. That for birdie at 18, and Liselott Neumann, the first round leader after that 67. 70 in the second, but a 76 in the third, drop back. But a nice way to finish for Neumann. 71 for her, even par for the championship. But Allison Nicholas and Nancy Lopez both topping that at 13 under and 10 under for the moment. Out at 17, Robbins for par.
Nice smooth stroke.
Still no bogeys for Kelly Robbins today. 4 under on her round. And back to 14.
And where we await the second shots of the leader and the second place person who will play first, Nancy Lopez and Roger Maltby with this group. Roger, what she got?
Nancy's got 141 to the hole, but her ball has come to rest on a pretty steep downhill lie. Nancy not a high ball hitter to start with, and I think that's going to make this shot even harder to hold. Only about 7 paces of green between the front edge over the water and the hole.
Plus the hazard in back.
She's got this ball up in the air nicely off that lie. Good looking shot.
And good rhythm, yeah. Kept her rhythm. That's okay from that lie. You say you really have to get across this water first. Now, Allison Nicholas, and if you were a hunch better today, maybe you might have bet a Nicholas Quinella. I don't know what Jack's doing in the seniors, but we got the new Nicholas is here, Roger.
Allison hit a terrific tee shot here. It has but 103 yards to the hole. Just a wedge, and the further you get it down this fairway off the tee, obviously more advantage to you, being able to loft something and have some spin on it.
That was a big tee shot.
And that was a very great tee shot at that time, Johnny, as you pointed out. You know, a couple of pushes, a couple of pulls, and you know, you get your rhythm lost. And on a hole where you must put it in the fairway, she did the job.
You folks at home might want to know how far she hits it. She said in the press room yesterday afternoon that at one drive yesterday, her caddy told her she hit 268.
Well, that one went 290, so that wasn't too bad. Downhill,
though. We'll take it.
Solid.
Well right of the hole. Needs to get down. Long.
What happened there, Roger?
Just airmail, John. Just a little pumped up, I think.
This is where you get a little excited.
Uh-oh.
This is
Where is that ball?
Well, I'm not sure. They're back looking. We've got
Hazard, huh?
some people. There is a hazard back there.
Yeah, it's a lateral water hazard. Last year it was an environmentally sensitive area. There's no water in it, so she'll check out the live, but it's marked as a lateral water hazard.
Well, might have the first drip of Pennzoil. And the Italian, Stefania Croce, again from this chipping area. It's her third shot. Well, we used the term bene yesterday on 18, molte bene here at 18 today. What a shot. Back at 14, Dave.
Thank you very much. They're pointing now. I don't know whether they can see the ball or not. Maybe they can. And there's enough rules people here to handle this, I'm sure.
David, if they can see it, it's not going to make much difference because it can't be hit from back here.
Yeah. David Fay, you're not allowed to move anything to find that ball. You're just allowed to just go in there and hack away at any ball that you see, but you can't identify your ball.
That's right. There's no penalty if you happen to hit the wrong ball out, but you better check it after you get it out of the hazard.
That's exactly right, Dave.
That's a rule. It's broken quite often, isn't it, David?
Well, people don't know it, do they? I mean, that's the thing about the rules. They don't understand them.
That's right.
You must get how many letters? You almost really, you ought to print a book of some of the letters you got.
Well, she's going to take the 2 club length option under the lateral water hazard rule, dropping it no closer to the hole.
Well, in reality, she has a 2-shot lead now and a tougher chip than Nancy Lopez.
As you can see, you have a number of options under the lateral water hazard, but she's going to take the 2 club length option and drop it no closer to the hole. And the ball has to strike the ground within those 2 club lengths.
Well, her concern now is, David, that where she drops this ball, the tall reeds from this area behind the green may interfere with her backswing.
Yeah,
so that is her real concern at the moment.
And the rules don't give her any benefit there, because unlike, let's say, Roger, an obstruction or ground under, where when you take relief, you have to take complete relief. In this case, it's the lie of the ball. If the lie of the ball, if the ball is outside the hazard, then the ball is in play. She may well have to stand in it.
That's okay. It's just a regular lateral water hazard.
I believe they were trying to determine if that ball were closer to the hole than where it last crossed the margin of the hazard, but they've deemed it is not so.
How tough is this shot, guys?
It's plenty tough. It's not a very good lie. It's sitting down. The grass, although the reeds from this particular position and behind her will not interfere with her swing, but the grass is taller immediately behind her ball. Bit of a concern. She has to keep the ball in the air some 35 feet. From there, the green will run away from her slightly, and she only has about 18 feet of green to work with, or less. So not an easy shot at all, with water on the other side as well.
It's hard to believe after a 290-yard drive that you'd hit it that far over the green.
You can see what she's got. If she hits it too strong, she'll easily put it in the lake that she was trying to avoid on her second shot. And this will test her nerves, man. Sometimes you get a shot you don't want to play, Roger. You know,
I would prefer not to have to play this one.
Yeah. It's Kendra Graham, rules official, expert. Wonderful with the rules of golf. Knows how to explain them so I can understand them.
You know, a little bit in defense of that iron shot she hit, Dave, the players in the locker room earlier this week have said it's so tough to get the right club in your hand on 14 because it's so much downhill. But again, you're looking at the water if you hit it short.
Oh, this will be long.
Well, it's not going to go in the water, but she still has a work completed as she is 4 at the moment. Not on the green yet. We'll go forward to 15, the par 3. Lisa Hackney. This for her birdie, 5 under. Even for today. Down the hill. Moving right and moving very right for her to go to 6 under. 1 under on a round today and 6 under for the championship. Move into a tie with Kelly Robbins and Kari Webb.
This for par. Stefania Croce missing her birdie putt, but still a final round 67. Also shot a 69 on Friday, and she finishes 5 under for the championship. Back to 14.
Lopez has had a long time to look at this. A lot of things got to be going through her mind.
David, in reality, she is only 1 behind right now if they both 2-putt.
Yeah. And all of a sudden the game is on. This putt shouldn't do much from this angle. It may try to go a little right, but not a lot. Basically a very level green, as you point out, Raj, from back to front. Moves just a little right, but a very nice lag down the hill. And certain 4. So at the worst, going to pick up 1 stroke. She chooses to go ahead and finish, which I think you should do for a number of reasons. I mean, it's not going to get any shorter, number 1. And you've got your 4.
Allison's rolled up against that collar, hasn't she?
Yeah, looked like it. This would be pretty slow, too, putting up the hill now. It's a pretty good shot she played from over there, and she played it pretty fast, too. She didn't want to think about that too much.
A lot of players would blade this with a sand wedge. I guess she's just going to blade it with the putter, which can make it come up even more short.
Well, I tell you what, John, give me that putter under this much heat. All right. I'll try to blade that sand wedge on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yep.
Popped. Yep. And usually that kills the speed. Well, when you have it like that, you sort of hit down on it.
Sitting in a hole.
Yeah, sitting in a hole. Well, the ball tends to run down in the hole. They don't jump up on good lies. So, still a little work here, and they all become work now simply because we played so well finally after, it's been since the 6th hole yesterday. Now, Nancy has got to calm down, I think. Think about what she needs to do from here in.
You saw her coughing there. She's had allergies all week, pretty serious allergies. She's been worried that she's been bothering her player, the people she's been playing with, because she's coughing all the time.
And plus she's beating them. That'll make them start coughing. Anyhow, this for a double bogey 6 and a 1-shot lead.
Hold on, Ollie.
Well, good solid 6 after that. It's just too bad. It's got a little aggressive with that 2nd shot. So now the game is really on, Roger. Let's look down at that 2nd shot of Alan Nicholas's again. Look from the overhead. Now it's 103 yards. She has a wedge. I'm sure she's thinking, now just put it, good solid swing on it. But you carried it all the way over the green. She must have hit it 115 or 20 yards. Way too hard under the excitement, I think. Let's go forward to 18.
Okay, Dave, 3rd shot on the par 5 for Kelly Robbins.
Good angle to come into this left hole location. She could feed it off the center of the green and let it trickle right down in there for a nice little
chance for a birdie to get to 7 under. And to the 15th tee.
This hole today playing 164 yards. Hole location back right. And they've been using 6 irons, 5 irons. Perfect day for golf too, Roger. It's very little breeze all week. Well, I thought it might be a little windier than that here.
Well, it's been a little fickle. It seems to change direction. You play 2 holes going in opposite directions, and it feels like you're into the wind both holes at times. So a little bit awkward to get the right club all the time. This is a 5 iron for Nancy. I think the hole in just about the easiest location on this green. The rear right.
Well, that's what I would want. I would want the honor to hit the best shot I could hit and keep the pressure on.
This shot going a little bit right. Going to need a kick.
Well, it'll get one usually there, and it didn't. I've seen a number of the balls hit the right fringe there today and get a hard left kick.
Well, that'll be an extremely quick chip shot from there now.
Oh, like you're chipping on linoleum.
And she does not have a lob wedge.
Now, Allison, you couldn't see this graphic. She said a 3 and 2 2s here. Well, this hole's been very good to her. Sometimes you get one you really feel like you can play, Roger.
Yeah, she's played so well today, and you know, this is such a hard game, David. I mean, she really didn't make a bad swing. She just overamped and hit it too hard, and bingo. Next thing you know, you make a 6.
Yeah. Yep. Championship leader by 1 at 11 under.
This is a 4-iron.
4-iron.
Seems like a lot of club.
Yeah.
This ball well left of the hole at the center of the green.
Well, it was the right club for her, though. Okay, will it be Nicklaus or Lopez? Stick around and we'll find out shortly. Welcome back to the 52nd U.S. Women's Open. Nancy Lopez's second shot out of the rough. Roger Maltby's had a look at this live. Roger, what are her problems?
Well, this is a very severely downhill sloped chip shot, and she does not have much work with, only about 15 feet of green, maybe a little bit more than that. But I think if she lands it onto the fringe, it will get on by. She's going to have to land in the intermediate cut of rough and hope it'll kill it.
As you pointed out, it is some 15 feet from the right, so straight downhill. There wasn't much chance because the downhill that takes the loft off the club. It's going to make it run. She just misses getting into that first cut of the rough. Let's go to 18 and Johnny and Dan.
Okay, Dave, and quite a buzz just here moments ago as they posted the score at 14. And the electricity all over the course now as the crowd now knows that Nancy trails Allison by a single shot.
That's a pretty strong reaction. That's Arnold Palmer reaction.
All right, so Lopez is 2 on the green. Also on the green, Allison Nicklaus, a good shot in there. Now, Roger, you've had a chance to look at this putt she has?
Well, she's got it going back up a hill a little bit, David, and should go a little bit to her right, but not a lot from the side of the green. Probably just off the hole on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's the way it's been moving. It does, when it loses its speed, it should die a little to the right. And what she needs to do, not count on Nancy missing her putt. You know, go ahead and give yourself a chance here. You can be a little aggressive. You're putting up the hill. It's a little high. Very little, but nevertheless, for her speed has been good through this tournament. Let's go to 18 again.
This is a birdie try for Kelly Robbins in a round of 66.
Right edge putt.
Slams it. And Kelly, who set the LPGA scoring record for 72 holes last week, all alone in third place at 7 under. She came in just as big a favorite as Annika Sorenstam did. Back to 15.
And a very big putt. The things that may be going through her mind, she's got maybe a little read off of Allison's putt. Do you think, Roger?
Well, a little bit different angle, David, but if she's looking for a break, it's not here. This is just about dead straight in. And should she hold this, this would be very much like making a birdie.
Well, hopefully her our caddy watched the little pitch shot roll by as it went by the edge and noticed it didn't do much.
Well, the players should do that also, and that's a good point for your people at home. It should be inside left and firm. Did you hit it? Did you hit it? Oh. Big putt there. So, drops to 2 behind the championship leader, Allison Nicholas, with 3 to play. 2 strong par 4s and dynamite laden 18th hole. You might make anything at 18.
You're right, Dave. Anything can happen. Here is the par 4 16th, 405 yards, and one of the most difficult holes all championship week long. Allison Nicholas now with a lead of 2.
On the last 3 holes this week, Allison Nicholas 1 under for those 3 tough holes. Nancy Lopez -4. If she does that, she wins the United States Women's Open. But it's going to be tough. Tiger was 2 down with 3 to go against Steve Scott, so it could be done. Good looking golf swing, good balance.
Right down the middle, Johnny.
Very good sound, aggressive swing, not just hoping it would go in the fairway.
Well, Nancy Lopez has played these last 3 holes very well. Remember the birdie, birdie, birdie finish in the second round? As you look at how they played the final 3 holes all week long.
Fairway's drying out, as you can see. Allison's ball must have rolled 45 yards. So this hole that was playing really driver and long iron or even fairway wood is now probably picked up, taken off about 2 or 3 clubs. I would imagine Nancy will have to go into this green with a 4 or 5 iron though. That's that tough of a hole. What's the wind doing, Roger?
Well, what there is from the right, but there's really very little wind right now, John. Still and quiet out here. Low going down the left center of the fairway. That should run.
Nancy Lopez trailed by 4 at the turn. She now trails by 2 with 3 to play.
You are watching the U.S. Women's Open on NBC Sports.
And we bring you back to the scenic Pacific Northwest, the snow-capped mountain of Mount Hood. And back into the rolling farmland of Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club, where Nancy Lopez, the Hall of Famer with 48 career wins, began this final round of the championship, 3 back of Allison Nicholas, who is looking for her first major championship. The lead is now 2 by Allison Nicholas. It was at one time 4 shots at the turn. But Nancy Lopez birdied the 13th, Nicholas double bogeyed the 14th. Lopez did drop a shot back at the 15th by bogeying that. She is 2 down with 3 to play, and it does sound like a match play term. And in fact, it was Tiger Woods last August who was 2 down with 3 to play on this very same Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club course, who came back to beat Steve Scott in a dramatic U.S. Amateur. But it has turned into match play between Allison Nicholas, just 5 feet tall from England, against the Hall of Famer Lopez.
And a very difficult hole location, 27 yards back, only 21 feet from the right edge. That bunker that you see just left your screen now is definitely in play. Roger, it sets up for a high fade, but anything on the green here would be nice, especially if it's pin high.
Well, that's from 188 yards. It's a 3-iron, Johnny, and she will have to work this left to right to get it close. She is cutting this ball. It's a good-looking shot.
Boy, that is a great golf shot.
That is a great shot, John.
That is the best shot she's hit in the championship, no doubt about it. Right there.
Lopez within birdie range at 16.
Wow. There's the heart of a champion right there. Someone who might have won 48 times.
Allison Nicholas is showing the heart of a champion all day long. 1 under on her round today. Not only shooting for the Open Championship, but an all-time scoring record.
Wow, a lot of thoughts going through her mind. That puts the pressure on. We didn't see her trying to regroup. capture the magic. She's got to decide now. It's a lot of strategy here, Roger. Do you say, okay, let's ignore her? She's been talking about fairways and greens all week long. Fairways and green, if you're in trouble, get it back on the fairway. So I'm not so sure she'll be going at this hole location.
Well, she's got a bit of a hanging lie, John. The ball is on a downhill slope, has 161 yards to the hole. This is a 6-iron, and I would think the center of the green would be her target.
Probably like aiming 12, 15 feet left of the hole.
This shot starts at the center of the green. It's a pretty good-looking shot.
Again, maybe a little bit of adrenaline going on. She's a little unlucky, hung up on the very collar of the green. Very good swing, though.
Well, every time, maybe aside from that, Allison Nicholas has answered Nancy Lopez's best efforts all day. Remember earlier on the front nine today when Nancy Lopez hit her third shot stiff? This was the third shot of Allison Nicholas on the par 5 fourth, and that is what happened. Eagled it to get to 13 under. Nancy made her birdie, but the lead stayed at 3, and that has been the case for Allison Nicholas most of the day today, responding to the greatness of Nancy Lopez, and again, all the adoring gallery and the cheers that she's heard as well.
Yep, she's hung in there tight. It's been a great performance by both of them. Whoever wins this or loses it can't, obviously the loser can't feel too bad. Nancy Lopez with her great record without a U.S. Women's Open Championship, like nothing better, especially at this point in her career. The rededication, commitment to exercise, diet, pointing towards the majors, all the things she needed to do to turn her career around and still be a good mother and a good wife. Wonderful balancing act she's putting on.
Well, let's go to the par 5 18th, and this is Kari Webb, her 4th shot.
Actually, 3rd shot. Important for her to hit it up here close, get a birdie. If she can birdie it, she tied for 3rd with Kelly Robbins.
Well, she's put her 3rd shot right where so many other players have put it, but it's very hard to read that putt. It breaks about an inch more than the players know.
And back to 16, Allison Nicholas, her 3rd at the par 4. And Roger, what's this look like?
Well, this is going to be a quick putt downhill. Going to elect to putt this ball from just out of the long fringe intermediate cut, just into the intermediate cut. This ball will move a little bit to her right.
Is it pretty good speed, right?
It is a quick putt from back here. You just got to hope to two-putt, really, John. If it falls in, what a bonus that would be. But you just got to, you can't assume that Nancy is going to make her putt and do anything foolish like run this ball 3 or 4 or 5 feet by and make bogey. That would really let Nancy back into it.
Well, Nancy, of course, made a little hiccup on the last hole. If you just tuned in, was within a shot and then hit it right at 15. Didn't get it up and in, so lost a shot 2 behind. Nancy Lopez 9 under. Allison Nicholas 11 under, as you can see there. So still pretty much a 2-person tournament at this point, unless the wheels fall off big time in this final group. Sort of coasted down there, and the option to drop on the front lip. Roger, I did some putting here last night, and I put down, unfortunately, sort of a trick putt. This putt here, it looks like. What are you seeing? Just out of curiosity.
I think it'll move a little bit right, but not a lot.
What I found out, if the ball is about a foot closer, more on where she is right now, it looks like it would go right, and it does not. So we'll see if she can read it correctly. Not a lot of break. Let's see, the slope is from to the right, but down at the hole it flattens right out. Just birdied the second hardest hole on the course with a very difficult hole location.
And this was the reaction of Allison watching it. She knows the heat's on now.
Any win in the U.S. Open should never come easy.
I don't know how the folks at home are feeling, but my hands are dripping sweat.
Great stuff.
Now 1 up, 2 to play. She's only 5 years younger than Nancy Lopez. She's 35 years old, but she took up the game of golf at such a young age. Nicklaus has always really looked up to Lopez as one of her idols.
Well, you know, when I was 17, I started the game then, and then one of the lady captains gave me a book, which is a Nancy Lopez book, and I played with her. I played with her several times, and I always remember that, and to actually think that one day that I'd actually play with her is remarkable. I mean, it's terrific, and I remember relaying the story to her at the Tournament of Champions, and she's a great lady, and we just had a bit of a laugh about it, and I think that it'll be a sheer pleasure to play with her. She's a tremendous golfer and a legend in the game, and has done enormous things for women's golf.
And also helping her back in 1990, it was at the Solheim Cup. Allison Nicklaus had just played her rookie season. It was very tough, and she mentioned earlier this week that Nancy Lopez convinced her to give it a try, give it a second chance, and since then she's come up with 2 wins on the LPGA Tour. So Nancy Lopez, not only adored by all her fans around the world, her fellow golfers look up to her in the same kind of light.
We've talked about how great Nancy Lopez plays these last 3 holes. She's played out of these 10 chances on these last 3 holes, she's 5 under par. Amazing stat right there. If she continue this last 3-hole magic, she'll have a good shot at getting in a playoff, maybe winning it outright. But Allison is playing great golf. Can't take anything away from her.
Breeze now picking up back into the player's face, John.
Yep, want to hit it down there. Is this a driver?
This is a driver. Pulled it and hooked the ball. That'll be problems in the left rough with trees in her way between her and the green.
Man, that is not a good spot at all.
Worst drive I've seen her hit in 4 days.
Well, you might have heard the roar just a moment ago, posting the scores at 16. And the gallery here surrounding 18 just has 1 more hole to wait before they arrive here.
Well, Nancy did not want to miss it left. The way the tree canopy is left, you can miss it right in the bunkers and still have a shot, but she knows it. You can tell that wince, like, oh man, not now. Not when I got a shot at my first Open.
Right down the center of the fairway. Really solid.
Allison Nicklaus down the middle of the fairway at 17, but the Lopez birdie at 16 has made it a 1-shot difference as they play the final 2 here at Pumpkin Ridge. Well, the leaders Allison Nicklaus and Nancy Lopez playing that hole down there, the par 4 17th, and capturing the shot from high above Pumpkin Ridge. As always, the MetLife blimp, Snoopy 2. Enjoying a picture-perfect day here, just about a half-hour's drive west of downtown Portland, and that is the lie of Nancy Lopez outside the fairway at 17, Roger.
Well, the net lie is not particularly bad, but the problem is the trees in front of her, some 35 yards. She has 199 to the hole. I think in a normal circumstance, John, you'd probably just try to wedge this ball down the fairway, but under these circumstances, she may take a risky shot and try to hook something down the fairway further. But That would be very risky.
Of course, you can see where her ball is right there, and then she has got to, there's these tree limbs here, she's got to negotiate some sort of shot. She does have an opening, as you can see. If she could play a draw, she could get it right on that line that I just drew. So there is a chance, the way the hole's configured, it does set up for a draw. I think she can pull it off, Roger.
Well, I'm not going to say she can't, but this is...
How big of a draw would it take?
She's going to have to hook this ball a good 20 yards, John.
Oh, so it's that much?
I think so.
It's funny, the aerial doesn't appear that it's that much of a needed hook, but you're right, I'm sure, being right there. And it's not hard to, not easy to do out of a sort of a jumper lie like this. A lot of times if you try to hook it, you can pull hook it right into those trees, and then of course a lot of times you aim right and try to get it there and it doesn't hook, and then you get long right. And the ball pretty far forward for a hook.
This ball not hooking.
Hits the lip of the bunker and rolls back down on the flat, which is really not a terrible spot. She can put some good spin on it from there, but it's not easy either.
Allison Nicholas now has 165 yards to the hole.
51.
Absolutely ideal position.
Well, she's got to feel pretty fortunate right now, doesn't she, after that birdie by Nancy, to have Nancy do what she's done so far on this hole.
Well, every time Nancy's put the pressure on today, she's come right back, each and every time.
See the pin placement there?
This ball going a little left.
Doesn't like it at all. Man, Roger, she just got the, I guess it reminds me a lot of Tom Weiskopf, how he used to, down the stretch, just get the adrenal glands going, and all of a sudden the irons are going 20 yards longer than normal. That's what's happening to her.
No one, man or woman, has ever finished an Open in double-digit under par. Both Nancy Lopez and Allison Nicholas, both double-digit under par. Nicholas at 11 under, Lopez at 10 under. That is the kind of quality golf we've seen today in a pressure-packed Open Championship. And, of course, Nancy Lopez, 3 runner-up finishes in the past, 1 as an amateur. And that's how she began her final round. 3 back, shot 75 in 1975, and then 2 back in 77. 4 back to begin the final round in 89 before Betsy King won the first of her 2 U.S. Women's Open Championships.
And really, Allison on 14 with her 280-yard drive, making an unforced double bogey error, and then now on 17 had a chance to really sort of close out the championship. It was a birdie opportunity to knock it stiff in that little funnel back pin placement, and she really is giving an opening to Nancy. It should have been a par birdie situation. Now she's got a, you know, Nancy's got a longer shot, but Roger, that was a great opportunity for Allison.
Oh, she could have really put the heat on if she'd have got that ball on the green, certainly anywhere near the hole. But now Nancy has 70 yards, Johnny, and this is a very awkward distance from a bunker.
But I think a good break. It was up over that lip there with an unbelievable side hill lie, and at least it rolled down where she has a pretty solid lie, doesn't she?
It's a good lie. Ball's a little bit above her feet, but you're right. If the ball had stayed up above the bunker, she would have had a ridiculous stance. But this, not an easy shot at all.
I like sand shots to the balls above your feet. You're less apt to hit them heavy. The toe catches the sand.
Oh, this is a good shot right here if it spins.
Come on, back.
What a shot. What a shot.
Great shot. Fans are getting their money's worth, Roger.
What a show they put on today, Jamie.
What a big gallery, and what a crowd it's been. It's a record gallery. More than 30,000 attending today's final round, 31,000. Better than 127,000 for the championship. A record, shattering last year's mark.
And the gallery at 18 is huge, already ready to see the final group come up.
Let's bring in David Fay for an explanation of this ruling. David?
Well, it's a grandstand, it's temporary, and the relief is more generous than a typical obstruction. She has, even though it doesn't appear to be this way from the picture, she has intervention. So what she has to do is determine her nearest point, no nearer the hole, and then once she establishes that nearest point, she drops more than 1 club length, less than 2. And that last note, relief options may include a ball drop. On this particular hole, there are no ball drops.
She has to take complete relief, right?
Yes. And for temporary immovable, the intervention relief means if your ball is within 1 club length of the TIO, and that's why once she determines her nearest point of relief, she drops more than 1, less than 2.
TIO is temporary immovable obstruction for you, those of you that blew right by you with that.
Well, Johnny, the interesting thing about this next shot is that this hole is located in the middle of a valley back here. The green's sloped in toward the center from both sides. And really about the easiest way to get it close would be to chip it clear across the green, almost into the other fringe, or maybe even into the other fringe slightly, and it'll roll back to within about 3 feet of the hole. But as it is now, if she tries to pitch it and land it into the tallish fringe or the intermediate cut to kill it and trickle it down the hill, that's a lot riskier shot.
So you say the ideal with the wedge she has in this lie, the ideal landing spot would be where? Just right in the collar?
Right in the collar, in the intermediate cut,
here,
yes.
And then it trickle down.
But should she hit it too hard or whatever, you could go up into the other fringe or near the other fringe and turn around and roll right back down to within 3 or 4 feet of the hole. We were out here this morning looking at this and imagined that this could be a possibility, and it worked when we were out here earlier.
You know, Roger, talking about the fans here, Nancy being as gracious as she is, she said everyone's pulling for me because I've had 3 Portland wins. Not that she's just probably the kindest athlete of all time, but also Allison won in Portland.
Allison doesn't like that it's within a few inches, but the bottom line, a few inches is enough. Isn't that right, David Fay?
That's right, Johnny. It's that few inches, and Kendra is right there, and she's working her through the procedure.
It is.
She probably doesn't like the second shot, is what she doesn't like.
Third, especially.
Yeah, this one coming up.
Well, a lot of players might fudge there a little and take it back a little wider when it's that disconcerting, but you're really not supposed to do that. You're supposed to take the normal swing you'd take to execute the shot. If it does not hit the stand, even if it was an inch from you, you're just supposed to play it. You've got clear relief now.
Yeah, you can't take...
Yeah, you can see this bowl. It's literally the green does funnel this way and it funnels this way, and there's a collection area that goes out of the green like that. So it's not easy to, like Roger said, it's going away from you here. It's easy to knock it, what do you say, Roger, about 6 feet by?
6, 7 feet by, very simple shot, not a problem. Getting it closer than that, a lot of work.
She just doesn't like that stand there. I don't blame her. It's only the most important shot of her life.
She's going to ask the gallery, which has a bird's eye view on the steps behind, to move.
And she knows that the gallery's not necessarily against her, but it isn't exactly friendly fire back there.
Well, this is definitely like trying to win on the road, John.
Yep, that's true.
And the third shot to this par 4.
I don't want to try to fluff it too much. You could leave it short of the green if she tries to open the face too much.
Oh no, that's got to go. No.
That's just what she did. I was afraid she was going to try to play sort of a hero shot instead of taking the 6-footer and getting out of dodge and make the putt. Try to hit the super shot. Watch this coming down. She flips her hands a little earlier and it sticks on her. Did you see how the club almost stopped at impact? Watch this, right at impact. She must have hit a clump of grass because the club just stopped on her. And now we have a situation where it's even Steven.
Both lie 3.
Actually, advantage Lopez.
And
Nancy has a very makeable putt
on the green.
Well, she'll be chipping on, and of course that'll be her 4th shot. Lopez is on 3, and she was 1 behind. So what I'm saying is, once she chips this on the green, technically she's going to try to putt it. Not a bad play from there, I guess, huh, Roger?
Well, I would think you'd have a better chance to hole it, Johnny, by chipping the ball. She's going to run this through a foot or more of intermediate rough. And I think it's pretty hard to get the ball to stay on line. There's very little break on this green from hole high.
Very little break. Might do something the first 4 feet, though, coming out of that fringe. Shot left on her. Now it'll flatten out. That was sort of a bit of a yucky stroke.
So that left for a bogey 5 for Nicholas. And Nancy Lopez looking over her par putt. Roger had a chance to read this one.
This putt will move just a little bit to Nancy's left, maybe about right edge, just off the right edge. That's about all. There's just not a lot of break in the center of this green in the rear. What a 4 this would be.
This putt is a very difficult putt to read, Roger. It looks like it's straight, and like you said, it actually breaks towards this big hill that's over here. You can't believe it does, but it goes left. So, I mean, for her to make this, I don't know if she knows this break. If she plays it straight, she will miss it left. And it looks straight. Looks like she's aiming right, Roger. That's good.
Come on. Didn't hit it. Pretty tentative there, John.
Oh man, the nerves are going just flying right now. Both players, Roger. You'd have to be there, folks, to try this out for size.
Bogey 5 for Lopez at 17, drops to 9 under.
You can see her eyes on the putt. She's looking immediately, and she's going, oh, I could feel I didn't hit it, didn't compress. Oh, the last thing as a player you want to do is leave it short.
And she fights for another breath there.
She says, I can't believe I left it short.
Now Allison Nicholas for her bogey 5, and
I'll tell you what, there's no gimme right here. The last stroke I saw looked like the nerves are sort of just too much going on inside. See if she can put a good stroke on it.
solid. And the lead remains 1 for Allison Nicholas. Began the day with a 3-shot lead. They both card bogeys at 17. And as they head to the par 5 18th, the huge gallery surrounding the green here up ahead finally gets a chance to look at for real this duel that has been staged since early this afternoon, and now they're clapping in unison around the 18th green as the only 2 on the golf course left, Lopez and Nicholas, fight it out for the most prestigious championship in women's golf.
Look at, they're posting them up, they're waiting for it. They're going to see a change. They'll go crazy on the first change. They're going to put that top change first, probably to 10. Nope, they're going to go the other way. They missed out on the drama. Oh, but then they're saying, well, it's a double drop. So they both bogeyed the hole.
So here they are at the par 5, Johnny.
Well, look at this visual intimidation. Let's look from above. This hole, visually, if you had something on the line, you just cannot get. And here's where they're teeing off right here. You have all this expanse. This is all dead right here. If you basically hit it anywhere here, you got to re-tee or drop it around the front of the tee. What happens is a lot of players will try to be brave, and they'll hit these right bunkers. Those 3 first bunkers are the ones in play. The good news is the fairway is the widest almost on the golf course, 39 yards wide, even though it feels like you're hitting it through the eye of a needle. You want to aim at the last of those bunkers on the right, not the one way left, but by the end of that tent, right there if you can, and turn it right to left, and you got a shot at getting on the green in 2. That's the drive she wanted. A good hop on a little downslope. Not the greatest angle to this green, but that's a long drive, and that's reachable. So we're going to see all kinds of strategy here if both of them hit a good tee shot, but that puts the pressure squarely on Allison, who might miss it right with the pressure. It'd be interesting to see if she can fire that right side with this much pressure. Not taking a lot of time. Didn't even hardly soul the face. Do you see that fall through? That's a hook fall through like a Chichi Rodriguez Gary player, and it's a very good way to hit it. Look at that.
Couldn't ask for much more drama here at Pumpkin Ridge. Final hole, the 72nd of the 52nd edition of the U.S. Women's Open. Nicklaus by 1. Record crowds here at Pumpkin Ridge watching a dramatic U.S. Women's Open. The swing of Nicklaus at 18, Johnny.
Look at where the club was sold, 4 or 5 inches off the ground. Look at the coil. Look at this tremendous left side. Watch the leg action, drive. Watch an impact. Both feet almost off the ground, and the drive up through and the high right shoulder finish for a draw.
Second shot now to the par 5, Roger.
Got 233 to the front. Got a fairway wood here. Looks to be a 3-wood.
She's going to see if she can do it.
She's hit this ball high, but in the fairway, John.
Boy, that's a good play, isn't it, Roger?
It is a good play.
It forces Nancy, I believe, to go for the green.
Solheim Cup atmosphere here alongside the green at 18. You saw Laura Davies, and there's Annika Sorenstam.
I think she, as much as is possible, is enjoying this tremendous action. You know, she feels like she probably should have been there, obviously.
Now Nancy's second.
Okay.
232 to the front, 252 to the hole. It's a 3-wood, John.
She could do it. Is the ball above her feet?
Ball's a little bit above her feet, which would tend to make her draw it. But if she can get something low that hits hot, she could chase it onto the front part of the screen, I believe.
This is exciting.
That's going up the right side, flirting with the trees. Misses the trees.
Not bad. It's actually in the very light rough, which is a nice lie. Very good lie.
On the first cut as we wind down this dramatic Open. What a scene at Pumpkin Ridge. Nancy Lopez trying to win her first Open championship in her 21st try. They both lie 2 in the par 5. And Allison to play first, Roger.
64 yards to the hole. Couldn't be any better, John. Just going right up the green at it.
It's one of those interpretive shots, so hard to play under pressure. She's having trouble with the adrenaline. Looks pretty good, Roger.
She's got this well right of the hole, John.
It's a good shot, though, right where you think you should hit it, especially with a 1-shot lead.
Nicklaus birdied the hole yesterday. Her fellow countrywoman, Laura Davies, cheering her on. She's played in plenty of pressure-packed Solheim Cup matches with her, but Allison all alone. And now, listen to the crowd.
Never heard anything like it in women's golf. Never been a more exciting moment in history.
That reception is nice, Johnny, but that just makes it all the harder.
Yeah, it's almost like a circus atmosphere right here, but they'll quiet down. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised to see her knock it in the hole.
Nancy still managed to smile as the crowd is now ringed in behind the fairway at 18.
This shot, Roger, is a perfect lie. It's a lot easier lie, I think, than Allison's lie. It's in the intermediate rough. the green is a bit of a bowl where if you hit it short, it'll run up to the hole, and if you hit it a little farther, it hits more on the flat. So she's got the shot.
Got 20 paces of green to work with. It will move to her left when it gets up on the green. But you're right, John. This is the kind of shot you expect to get close.
Perfect angle. It moves a little left once it gets on the ground.
Turned over on her. Took one hop and jumped right over, John.
We've seen a lot of people make that putt she has. It's fast, but it's very makeable. The last time a player birdied the final hole to force a playoff, 1992 at Oakmont, Patty Sheehan birdied the last 2 holes to tie Julie Inkster, went on to win the playoff, an 18-holer on Monday. And assuming that Nicklaus is able to get it down in 2, Lopez will have to birdie at 18.
I think the USGA made a wonderful hole location placement here for Sunday. They told me they didn't want to pick their hardest pin placement or hole location for this very fact, what's happening right now.
It's a very good hole placement because this putt right here, once it starts turning left, this was the same putt that we saw in the Woods-Scott match. And if she tries to make this putt to win it, once it turns left, it just chucks on down the hill to the left, and it could be about a 4-footer coming back. So I would see her underreading this by accident. It breaks more than it looks, and I could see her sort of cozying up there underneath the hole to the left. But it'll move left. It'll move left 6 to 8 inches if she hits it easily.
This is a birdie to win the championship. Well, a safe lag all the way. Putting the pressure right on Nancy Lopez. Force her to make birdie to force a playoff.
Roger, Nancy's got a putt. Just moves just a little to the right, I think. Is that what it looks like from there?
As it loses speed, John, it will move to the right. Got to get this ball off the hole on the left side. But speed isn't a problem. You just get it going down this hill and it'll track.
Of course, came up short on the last hole, but you won't have that trouble here. Now it's just a case of trusting your stroke and hopefully reading it correctly. It would be easy to play this straight, but it does move a little right.
Again, husband Ray Knight back in Cincinnati with her 3 daughters, Ashley, Aaron, and Tori watching, and Father Domingo in his 80s back in Roswell, New Mexico, hoping for a birdie from Mom.
Unfortunately, she did just what I did last night when I tried that putt. I thought it was straight in, and it breaks right about 3 inches, 2 or 3 inches, and you just can't see it. And she hit a very bold, aggressive putt right at it, and it moved right. She hits it. I know she hit it where she was aiming. She hit a good putt, and it moves right, and she knows it.
And the reaction from Allison Nicholas.
Oh man, I know she thought Nancy was going to drain it too.
So this for par for Nancy Lopez. Finish at 9 under, 2 under on her round today.
Just a straight in putt.
And how about that? 4 rounds in the 60s for Lopez.
Pretty hard to believe, first time ever, and end up with the runner-up probably. 1-foot putt. I don't know why she's plumb bobbing it, but it's all right.
Allison Nicholas is the second Brit to win the U.S. Women's Open.
That's a great moment. I tell you what a battle. best I've ever seen right there. Oh, that's a tough one for Nancy, though. Ooh, that's a tough one. Both in tears as they hug. At 18, Allison Nicholas, just the 7th non-American to win the championship, in tears of emotion from Nancy Lopez. What a day. That is just so unlucky, though, for Nancy to shoot 69, 68, 69, 69. A score that is a once-in-a-lifetime score and end up second.
Thank you. Great job, Nancy.
But you got to hand it to Allison. She was so clutch through the whole week. Had a little trouble with distance control and a couple iron shots. The adrenaline was running, but she did what she had to do. And boy, that third shot out of that tight lie on 18, she could have chunked that so easily, but she did what she needed to do.
So little Allison Nicholas wins the 52nd U.S. Women's Open. We'll be back for more thoughts and, of course, the 18th green presentation from Pumpkin Ridge. What a Sunday outside of Portland. Allison Nicholas finally wins the duel on the 18th green. She's the champion.
Thank you, Dan, with Nancy Lopez. And Nancy, I know it's got to hurt.
It was
4
tough
rounds
out
in the
there.
60s. It's never happened before, and it comes up short. A couple mistakes coming in. I'm sure you'd like to have over.
Yeah, I would like to, but I played my hardest, and I was trying every stroke. And Allison was tough. She played really hard, and she played really great.
Would this have to be the most exciting championship you've ever played in?
It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I never felt nervous. I always felt really calm and just wanting to go for it. And I think maybe that might have got me in trouble on one hole today on 15, where I kind of went for the pin there instead of the green. But it's just a fantastic feeling to be able to walk down those fairways trying to win the United States Women's Open, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
The crowd was with you every step of the way.
Thank you very much.
Nice playing. Sorry. Back to you, Dan.
Okay, Roger, emotional Lopez. This was the scene moments ago as they signed their scorecards. Allison Nicholas offering her congratulations. It really was a shame somebody had to lose. We're back with a presentation in a moment. Well, what a week for Allison Nicholas. No rounds over par. 70, 66, 67. Today, 71. It's the lowest score under par in Open history, breaking Pat Bradley's mark at 981.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, may I introduce to you the 1997 United States Women's Open champion, Allison Nicholas. Gary Koch will do her first interview.
Allison, congratulations. You played so beautifully on the front nine. The back nine, it got a little tougher. What was the most difficult shot you had to play?
Oh, well, that one at 14, I only had a wedge in, but I think I had a bit of adrenaline behind it, and it flew the green, so I just had to hang in there as long as I could. It was just a tremendous day, and I can't quite believe it right now.
Well, the fans were obviously very supportive. They were very supportive of Nancy, but they were very supportive of you, too.
Yeah, the fans were fantastic. All of you were just brilliant, and I understand that you wanted Nancy to win, but you supported me just as much, and she's a great champion and a great legend of the game, and it was a privilege to play with her today.
She's also been a little bit of an inspiration to you, too, hasn't she? I know she gave you some advice after the Solheim Cup a few years ago.
Yeah, she was very kind. She beat me on that occasion, 6-5, if I remember rightly, at the Solheim Cup at Lake Nona. And I got a severe drumming there, and I learnt a few things, and she very kindly chatted to me and said that I should have another go on the US tour, and I can thank her very much for that.
Allison, at any point in your golfing career, did you ever dream you'd win the United States Women's Open Championship?
I've had lots of dreams, and I think perhaps that's probably been one of them, but I never, you know, until it happens, you never know whether it's going to be a reality or not. But today is just terrific, and I thank all my friends for supporting me and for all their prayers. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to you, and we'll go back up and join Dan Hicks.
Okay, Gary, thank you very much. And as we sit here with Marlene Floyd and Johnny Miller, I don't know about you guys, but I've gained more respect even not only for Nancy Lopez, but for Allyson Nicholas to win this championship with all of that pressure. She knew exactly that all the crowd was mainly for Nancy, but to pull it out and win it was huge.
The magnitude of the consequences was the thing that both players tried to get it out of their mind and played the greatest maybe Open I have ever seen.
Johnny?
Well, the eagle at 4 was really big. You know, Nancy knocked it in there tight. She'd already birdied one hole before that. And let's take a look at this on top of Nancy. She knew Nancy had a gimme birdie, and the momentum was switching towards her, and she was a little lucky that ball hit the pin and went in, but it's still a great shot.
And the whole round taking on a sense of match play, but in the end it was Allyson Nicholas.